Holii, vamos a seguir con nuestra aventura en Genshin. Perdonadme esta cara, es muy temprano, es la única hora que he podido tener hoy para grabar. Y también pediros un poco de perdón por atrasar tanto Sumeru, de verdad que ahora mismo no me ha dado tiempo, pero ya he sacado el tiempo suficiente para al menos terminar Sumeru. Así que prepararos porque se viene caña. Vamos a ir a tope, tanto con la historia de Honkai como con la de Sumeru. Al menos por un periodo de tiempo. Antes de nada, antes de seguir, deciros que tenéis el link en la descripción de mi canal de Discord por si queréis uniros, y también de mi canal de Twitch, donde hacemos directos todos los días o casi todos los días a partir de las 8 de la tarde hora española. Os recuerdo que la historia de Genshin Impact la hacemos únicamente y exclusivamente grabadas para YouTube, pero la de Honkai la estamos comenzando en directo, así que si quieres acompañarme con Honkai, ya sabes, vente a los directos. Y ahora sí que sí, vamos a seguir con Sumeru, que me tenía muy intrigada. Estoy deseando ver a mi querido Trotis. Lo último que hicimos fue hablar con Catherine, que no es Catherine, que es Nahida, pero en directo se me fue un poco la mano y sin querer fui al gremio y se como que abrió la misión, ¿vale? Pero básicamente estuvimos hablando con Catherine y poco más, no hubo nada demasiado interesante. Continúa la conversación con Nahida en otro lugar.
Let's continue our chat here. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the academia, even the core 30
Qué más bonito tiene Nahida,
intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention?
Really?
I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly. We're in the dark as of now, since we still don't know anything about their goals.
After
all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hot... No way, that's too risky.
Entonces,
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in this... According to a popular
Somos
theory
Paimon,
from the
constantemente.
Darshan of the academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning... Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas. Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, then I should find someone who's already involved. But hasn't this... You're saying we should...
hace un montón de viento, no sé si se escucha el ruido, pero bueno, espero que no.
Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the academia's back. Actually, I already have someone in mind.
Setaria.
Do you remember that female scholar named Setaria?
Setaria.
Remembers now? Isn't she the one who's... Oh, we ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Neelu. I've always liked observing all kinds of people. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia. Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the
Sí,
desert
pero
dwellers around the city
no
are
quiero que
really
vayamos al
desert.
desierto, que todo el mundo me habla fatal del desierto.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star, and then later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given soon after. The star witnessed the sun scorching the earth. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eye. From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from... Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears
Literal.
and go with the flow until
Eso ocurre en la vida real
the problem
también,
gets fixed. She's suppressing a lot of guilt. But before she realized it, she had already become the sage's right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but from my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some tomorrow afternoon.
Nos tiene
happens to be
sobreespiada.
a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots. And have...
Ok. Adivina con ella.
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
Ah, que no solo frecuenta.
So should we ask the fortune teller about No, I already have enough information on Setaria. The most important thing now. Talking style and key characteristics? My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of
Uy, la
wisdom
niña.
often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I'm... Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things?
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the god... Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro.
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Vaya caca. ¿Y y el money? A mí lo que me interesa es eso.
Health prospects. No problem at all. Oh. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for... many tens of thousands of years? Impossible. Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Qué mono.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done. I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is
that so?
Pobrecita.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit...
¿Podemos hacer eso? ¿Podemos hacer eso? No podemos.
I've never seen Harut and...
Joder, había dicho que podíamos traerle comida.
Is this another one of Setaria's favorite stalls? Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Setaria a lot when she first moved. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild?
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's...
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
Sí, la verdad.
So is your father still work?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a
Joder.
roof and broke his leg.
Vaya.
Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life
pues
in
mira
Port
que-
Ormos.
I see. We wish him peace. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are...
Venga, seguimos.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. Nahida, you've really thought of everything. It's my duty to protect
Qué
some
mona eres,
citizens,
hija.
after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? Sorry, I don't quite. If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about ship.
Ah, that's right. I've always been really interested in... After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of... But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm
Eso.
continuing to study and
Le-
perform research
Esta
in the
gente le
restaurant's
cuentan
basement.
todo a
I'm sure I'll
desconocidas.
get to the academia after their next round of
What an admirable spirit for learning.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people.
So this restaurant has a basement as
Oye,
well?
qué raro se ha puesto.
Huh.
Creo que es por el
First
atardecer.
I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks.
I see. Guess that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Chisan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official.
Vale. Nahida. A ver qué conclusión llegamos, hija.
So, was that everybody? Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for... what's the point of
Eso
all
me
the
gustaría saber.
information we've collected? Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find out... I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormos are all making a fuss about the... Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft spot. Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the
Quiero
guilt Sataria
aprovecharte.
feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the Satan. So, well, King Deshret is long gone. And Sataria is also too... If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would
¿Por qué no nos
definitely
hacemos
be
pasar por
wary
la
of
divina
us,
y ya?
and we may
Muy
not get
fácil.
anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her... So, you mean you're going to possess those... Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure. Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage... Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
¿Cómo?
Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know how to possess anyone.
Enséñame eso, Nahida.
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha
Hostia,
terminal, the
loco.
effect will... Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does she have to do this? Can't you do it
Eso
yourself?
porque no nace Nahida, que ya tiene práctica.
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them. You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine. If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people.
Habéis dicho que al principio de todo, cuando llegamos a Sumeru,
Probably should just accept
había animalitos que literalmente eran Nahida espiándonos y vigilándonos. Pero yo no me di cuenta, tío.
Don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help
O sea, no me
everyone.
fijé en los animalitos.
Borrowing them for a little while anyway. All right, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Tengo que revisar los capítulos y verlos. Los capítulos anteriores. Venga.
There's no need to exchange. Behold!
Es un poquillo rarita, ¿eh?
Here she comes. Satori is here. Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, as for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
A mí no me ponga eso, porque está nerviosa, sí. Y Daniela también está
Looks
nerviosa.
like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Paimon está igual de emocionada que yo, tío. Pasemos al gato y nos ponemos a hablar. Uy, los ojos de esta señora.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seem to...
Adiós, el gato no le gusta.
Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
Adiós, Harut. Harut y Marut.
Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they? Harut and Marut.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today?
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth. The gods are asking, Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything?
Si no lo saben los dioses, ¿quién lo va a saber?
Sataria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. Oh, the gods...
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies, and if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all. King...
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a
¡Qué salseo, qué salseo!
How can King
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of...
Lo imita bien, ¿eh?
As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has descended in this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry, I must go now.
Sí, porque te vamos a perseguir, reina.
Wait!
Dios. Este que salseo. Me flipa.
Oh, she just ran off in a hurry. Well done. Sataria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss.
Venga, siguiente.
To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions
Hombre,
really
es
well
humana
after
también,
All
¿no?
I know are some abstract Harvard-taught theories.
Bueno, no es humana, pero
In any
sí,
case,
no sé.
my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to...
Venga, ahora con el albañil.
Right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something.
Ahora le meto un morreo.
Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
Albañil.
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him.
Menos mal que no me
Get some
salta el
time
techo.
off, I'd love to. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Orm?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia? Or
Dios,
King
el SEO.
I.
Venga, venga,
I'm
di.
so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret.
Akeem, you don't mean. You've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who...
Can't pick a side?
Vaya.
Whoa, Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sataria, but once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and...
Venga. Ahora al restaurante.
Come on, Sataria.
So, Shishan, have you noticed, like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Adiós. Esto no lo sé. No me he dado cuenta.
Wait, did you just say attic?
Well,
Joder.
the restaurant recently added an attic. Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicates.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of
Adiós.
Shishan,
Dios, vamos,
don't
vamos
tell me that you
con
have
el
contributed to
con
King
la
Deshret.
pistola cargada, ¿eh?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You,
Dios, qué
who
caña le
worked side
está
by side with
metiendo.
the
Please stop!
Dios, se está metiendo una caña.
Now Sataria's still trying to run from her problem.
She can no longer justify everything to...
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards. What should we do?
This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away.
Please, try to remain calm, miss.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly
Mira,
started
mira,
believing
mira.
in him.
La
But
pone
he's
una
long dead.
loquísima.
Sataria.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day
Dios.
pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's child of King Deshret. Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact,
La están volviendo loquísima. Cuando me pasa algo así, a mí me da un chungo. Ahí mismo.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Se va a volver loca.
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the sage's plans. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides,
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps...
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched... Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the masked dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zeru's festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to the... I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city.
To fight against the academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. Let me see... let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the
academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't
No,
be
eso
a
es
trap.
verdad, con la cara que tienes.
I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task...
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Se está volviendo loca.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side. The Traveler's execution was ingenious. Now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray. But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed that.
Okay.
Can't handle it. Maybe that's their problem.
Ay, que no fue acá.
Relax. The wind rising.
Catherine, we're here! Oh, you are the other Catherine, right? That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your life. Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine's identity. Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance if something were to happen.
Uy, perdón, es que es muy temprano.
After all, the academia should still be unable to confirm the existence of my consciousness in the outside world. Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just make sure to be on our off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle of the night. Of course it's
Bueno, a las 7 de
quiet.
la tarde, 9:30 de la noche, ¿eh?
Paranoid, are you? No, I think she's right. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets. Huh. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Sataria figured out a way to not only distract the guards, but also... I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off. Well, regardless, as long as you're here with us...
Uy, huele raro. Huele raro. Hay algo por aquí que huele... Ah, no puedo transportarme, tengo que ir andando.
Huh. There really aren't many people out right now. Let's hope it'll be this quiet in front of the academia.
¿Eso es una triqueta?
That Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
Bueno, sí, el símbolo de las embrujadas. Una triqueta, juraría que se llama.
Squall Fury.
Oye, hacer ahí arriba, ¿no? Ahora que liado. Yo soy por las escaleras. Y yo volando. Como buena tratamundo que soy.
Quit following me.
Oye, qué lío. Por aquí. Las escaleras de aquí me tienen súper liadas. Por aquí ahora.
Too slow.
Uy. Super espía. No super espía. What?
Here at this hour of the night.
Ah, the triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular work.
Dottore!
Even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor.
¿Qué acaba de decir? ¿Prescrito de la academia?
If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments.
O sea, ese Mendes es el que estaba detrás de todo, ¿no?
Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No, what should we do? These are all just regular people. Leave now. You need to get out of here. What? That guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here! Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru! Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
Esperos de punta. Esperos de punta. No me quisiste ir decir cuando aparecía Dottore. Es verdad, gracias por no decírmelo.
This should be far enough. Paimon needs to catch her breath first. Is the Hida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new Harbinger here. let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number
El segundo. ¿Dottore es el segundo? ¿Sabes que no lo he visto? No lo había... Estaba... No lo he leído, la verdad.
He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him.
Sí, claro que lo hemos oído.
Did say that someone who once
De
got
Holii.
expelled from the academia came back recently. And that even the sages are wary of him. Yep. Sounds like she must have been talking about the... Yeah. Now that the Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the academia. They're in cahoots with the Fatui. But what
Dios.
after this time? Another Gnosis? Yeah. Things would be a lot easier with Nahita's help. Nahita said we'll meet again outside of the city. But we can't just keep... you mean... Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when he was
salseo,
in
madre.
the Vidia forest? Even though he turned it down at the time, he might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville.
Qué nerviosa me he puesto. De repente. No preguntéis por la vida del trotis, por favor. Vamos a terminar aquí. Y dejamos el capítulo por aquí. Nada flotante.
We've got you, all right. Take a look around.
Are you mercenaries from the Corps of 30?
Corps of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs who don't even get... We are an elite brigade that commands the highest commission rate in all of Sumeru.
El Cristo. El proscrito.
The outcast? An outcast from the academy? Why wouldn't the Doctor...
Sí, antes de Nahida lo ha dicho, el proscrito de la academia.
Still wasting time on idle chit-chat.
Pues nada, pegarnos de hostia.
Strike a pose. Everybody stand back.
Squall and fury. Know your place.
Ya mismo el trotis, ¿no? Ya mismo viene el trotis. Soy loquita con este hombre, de verdad.
It isn't over yet. Here comes reinforcements. That was pretty rough. Is that what
Pero si tú no has hecho nada.
are like? Yeah. Looks, but this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly where to set up an ambush. Going up against smart people is tough.
Enfrentarse a personas inteligentes, un dolor de cabeza, dices, ¿eh? Pero qué de perrete, por favor, qué monos. Supongo que está de aquí abajo. O arriba. ¿Dónde está? No, parece que no. Bueno, yo lo buscaré. ¿Está en el árbol, supongo, no? Ok. Chignari, mi furrito favorito. ¿Dónde estás, hermoso?
Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What do you two do? Holei! It's nice to see you. To be honest, I'm not doing too well. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule. Oh, Holei. Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him. Oh, Master Tainari? He just left the Avidia forest a little while ago. He left? What? Isn't Tainari... I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. To leave in such a hurry? Master Tainari originally studied in the Amorta Darshan of the Academia. Impartus DI is something like the Immortus research base. I know that before he became a forest watcher, Master Tighnari once spent a long time conducting research. A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI. Don't worry, I'm fine. Got it. Will do. See you later, Kale.
Sería tengo que hacer otra misión para poder interactuar con Catherine. Me cago. Y nada, no sé qué pensar. Yo ya quiero ver más cosas y ver, porque ya cuando empiezan los fatui, ya esto es uno para. Y bueno, es que nada más que estamos en la mitad de todo el arco de Sumeru, porque vamos por el acto 3. Así que, bueno, que se va a cocer, por favor, que de cosas, y que de drama, que salseo, me encanta. Y bueno, esperando y deseando ver al Trotis. Muchísimas gracias por llegar hasta aquí, por ver el vídeo, no te olvides de darle like y suscribirte para más capítulos de Genshin Impact. Nos vemos en el siguiente, gracias.